In prison, I expected to find murderers and robbers and violence and ugliness, and I did see all those things. But I also saw mentors and teachers, and I saw kindness and I saw learning. And sometimes those murderers and robbers were the same people who were mentors and teachers. What I realized is a single act in a person's life doesn't define them. It's really easy to say, oh, what a terrible person, look at what he did. And some people may continue to be that person. They may continue to pose a threat to others, but the vast majority of guys that I saw in there were no longer the person who had committed that act, because they've been in there for years or decades, and they were finding different ways to live their life. They were finding different ways to express all those needs and all those feelings they were having. And that's what it came down to me, was realizing people make bad decisions when their needs aren't met, when they don't have the tools they need to cope. And so I was inspired by some of the people, and some of the people with the most heinous crimes ended up being the best teachers. They were working over at the school. They were helping people find a different way to live. They were helping them get an education and move forward. And that kind of challenged my worldview, because I realized that people are not simple. People are not one thing. We can't put them in a box and know that that's what they are. Because I knew guys that were in there who had minor charges who were absolutely dangerous people. They were predatory. They were acting in ways that would never benefit anyone else. And I saw guys who had heinous charges, who had taken lives, who were there every day serving other people because they'd realized that was their meaning, that was their redemption, that was their path to do something different. And so that one act that we look at in a person's life, whether it's terrible, whether it's heroic, doesn't define them. And that's one of the reasons that I think person-centered language is so important. Because if I say someone is a murderer, or I say someone is a teacher, I'm saying they're only that thing. That's all you imagine in your mind, when the reality is that teacher may have some really bad habits and some really bad vices. And that murderer may have some really good qualities. So if we can look at people as people in all of their complexity and remember that no one is just one thing, regardless of who they are, we're going to have a different relationship to the people in our lives and to the people we come across.